watching. So your job is now harder. Your $50 million that you earn a year, or 25 million, you're doing the same. Now, I don't care how much money you make. I don't care how much money you make. If you're doing the same job every year, and now the job you did last year, look, you're probably not going to quit, right away for 20 million. But if your job that you're doing is now harder because people are policing you, all you know is that last year you had it easier, and the year before. And so for the last 5 years, you had it easier. And now you're doing the same job and there's these controls. That does force you to quit. It forces a lot of people to say, I fucking hate my job now. It doesn't mean that you're still making a lot of money and more than most. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if you're making 100,000 or 50,000. When someone comes in, hey, guess what, Susie, 55,000. She's listening to this right now. Good salary, 55,000. No shade, Susie. You're going to work. You're earning an honest living. When they're like, guess what? Your boss just got promoted and is moving to Texas, and we have a new boss for you. And your new boss is like, I'm riding your ass, bitch. I don't like what I see. And you're like, I fucking hate my life because I'm making the same money and my job is harder. You're like, I'm quitting. So there is that scenarios, right? That we keep Andy and we just squeeze him.
Maybe Mr. Cohen is not a good person and needs to go down. You know, I mean, that was the other thing. I don't believe Matt Lauer was particularly, I think Katie Couric was like the only person that liked Matt Lauer, you know, at the time of him being fired. He'd become a major asshole. He screwed over Ann Curry. I mean, you know, once your ego gets so big, you don't have any friends behind the office. That's a big problem.
Let me be honest with you. Because there's no other podcast out there that's honest. There honestly isn't. I mean, find one for me. I mean, these people that I speak to that are on the network, and look, I speak to a lot of people, so it's not going to give anything away. I mean, there was elation, there was happiness. People were happy to read this article about Brandi against Andy yesterday. There wasn't people calling me and saying, they were saying, finally. I mean, I've been hearing this for years. So I'm just sitting here. So
okay, well, I just had an exclusive interview with Ashley Darby from Real Housewives of Potomac, and she sang his praises. She says that she is staying on Potomac as long as he will have her, that she would never have stayed on the show this long if it wasn't for his you know, help behind the scenes, of his you know, putting the show together, of his believing in RHOP. She had nothing but you know, we sat down for 30 minutes. The last 8 minutes of the interview is about what an incredible genius he is.
Well, there you go. Listen, I'm not coming for the guy. I mean, that's great to hear, honestly. Like, I'm sure there's plenty of people that would say the same thing as her. You know, I mean, and by the way, when I say people are calling me and saying like, finally, I don't necessarily mean, oh, he's up to all these things. Let me clarify that. I just mean they are saying, finally, like, you're a fucking asshole and karma. I'm not implying that they're like, oh yeah, we saw this in the back office and that little twink. I'm not implying that. I'm just thinking that a lot of people were like, fuck him. I don't like him, and here's why. And it has nothing to, you know, it's like that. But it's great to hear Ashley say that. And I'm sure a lot of people would agree. My whole thing is like, where do we go from here? Like, is there a twink? Is there a hot jock or a twunk, 20 years old, interning with a perfect body, washboard abs, that has a story? Like, do more people come forward? Or is this just, because I mean, that's like, listen, if you're sitting home now, this is how we have Me Too. So I'm assuming if you're sitting home and there's anything to say, you're picking up the phone. It's not that hard. You Google Garagos and Associates. Hi, I need to speak to Garagos. Nobody gets through to Mr. Garagos except David Yontef, because he was on the Behind the Velvet Rope podcast. I have a story about Andy Cohen. Oh, hold on. This is Mark. You are my top priority. Hi, Mark.
Yes.
Thank you for taking my call. Am I your top priority right now?
Yes. Go on.
I have a story.
By the way, I'm waiving my fee for the next 15 minutes before I start charging you $665 an hour. So make it quick.
I have a story. I read your article about Brandi Glanville. I'm actually a Housewives fan. I used to intern on Watch What Happens Live, and I have a story. One night I was home and the phone rang and I saw Andy Cohen and I almost passed out. The boss man was calling me. He gave me some vibes. I gave him some vibes. Maybe I leaned into it. Yes, I admit it. I'm not wealthy. I am still in college, and the thought of a multi-millionaire sugar daddy crossed my mind. Did I flirt? Yes. It's not, that doesn't matter, is what Mr. Garrigo says. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, listen, I mean, maybe there's no other stories. Maybe not. I'm not coming for anyone. I'm just saying this is such a developing story to me. And it's like Carolyn's doing this. Caroline has nothing to do with Brandi. I mean, it has everything to do with her, but she's not being sued. Now she's coming forward. And Bravo, look, everyone's going after the deep pockets here. Is everyone going to get a payout? Because look, I've said it before. I know for an actual fact, that Caroline was trying to get like a settlement. She was trying arbitration. She was trying. Now, my sources tell me her number was so high that they're like, you can go fuck yourself. We're not paying you. But if they gave her a settlement before any of this, we wouldn't even know about this lawsuit. Welcome to corporate America, everyone. But they didn't. I think her number was like, I don't even think her number was like 9 million. I think it was like something crazy, like $10 million or something. So here we are. And now Brandi's here. And I just don't know. I don't know.
We're going to continue this, to be continued, but I want to wrap up with Porsha Guobadia, I think.
Guobadia. Why do you always pick the big topics? I told you we had a big story today.
What do you make? Has filed for divorce just a few days.
15 months. 15 months was the marriage.
And just a couple weeks after announcing her return to RHOA. Can I just tell you this real quick? Because I know we'll have to wrap up at some point. I believe she took a playbook out of Erica Jane and really? Jen Shaw's. I think she.
What? She's
yep. I think reading about Simon and his, I think there's a lot of shadiness there, and I think she needs to cut ties immediately so she's not dragged into the alleged criminal fraud. You know, I mean, and he can't get citizenship here. He's been denied citizenship since like 1992. Keeps coming back on the visas. Oh my God. And I mean, the fraud case, the felonies, the bank fraud, the wire fraud. I mean, the frauds, the criminal cases against him is why. The marriages. I mean, I think she saw what's happened to Erica Jane's reputation, no money. I think she is cutting ties ASAP. And I mean, I can't wait to see how this unfolds. I mean, she gave up her job at Dish Nation. So foolish for this guy who she thought was such a bazillionaire. Now apparently he's having tons of money problems. I mean, you know, honestly, I feel like Porsha Williams could have been the third co-host on The Breakfast Club instead of Jess Hilarious. You know, I think she could have been that person, and she gave it all up